Welcome to the Digital Glue Podcast. These digital untangling episodes are brought to you by Crystal Kordalchuk, CEO and founder of Virtually Untangled. This podcast is for entrepreneurs who need untangling from the day-to-day tasks in their business. These virtual world untanglers never underestimate the power of a good idea. And if that sounds like a lofty goal, well, it is. A decade ago, Virtually Untangled was founded with the goal of creating meaningful digital experiences that connect with people. Crystal and her team of honorary untanglers are now providing business owners just like you the opportunity to own your story and share it with the world. So, every Tuesday morning, she'll be dropping a new episode that will help you think big and dream even bigger. Let's dive into today's episode.
As you all know, I'm a keener when it comes to organization and productivity, putting my secret sauce of creativity on the sidelines for a few moments. Especially with all the distractions in our busy lives, it can be nearly impossible to focus on what's most important in our businesses. But trust me, you can do it if you get your priorities straight. This is something I see frequently in my line of business. People do not finish the day feeling accomplished. Then they end up judging themselves for all the things still left on their lists. And more often than not, we are our own worst critic and think that calling out our laziness or inefficiencies can lead to some sort of mindset adjustment to get around the roadblocks to our success. When you own your own business, being organized is a key factor to accomplishing success. But for me and millions of other scattered brain business owners, how do we organize our chaotic worlds? There is always an ever-running to-do list. New ideas and goals around every corner, last-minute client projects, emails to tend to, passwords to remember, professional development seminars and webinars, and seriously, this list could go on for days. I don't know about you, but some days I feel I need a compass because my mind is wandering in a million different directions and also usually wandering 1,000 miles away. Did you know that over 96% of people say their lives are better with to-do lists? 89% of those folks say they enjoy making those lists. And a good 28% of us identify ourselves as obsessive list makers. There is even a good 50% who admittedly love to write down tasks they have already completed to then cross them off triumphantly. Yep, guilty over here. This way, they have a more complete picture of everything they've accomplished. And yep, once again, I admittedly fall under this category as well. Guilty as charged. If you think about it, it's just another opportunity to cross something off and feel good that we tackled another item on our virtual pile. It's sort of insane how much some of us just love crossing things off, huh? It's true. You really don't need fancy products or a humongous team of consultants and worker bees to help you get your act together. And keep it together. Boost your own productivity by creating a system which can be based on these simple yet essential cornerstones of success through organization. First things first, write everything down. Whether it's on paper or in your project management tool or on your phone or your computer. This will help you focus and declutter your mind. Save some space for other things and help you from feeling overwhelmed. Reduce the burden on your brain. This will also help you plan and coordinate other projects, meetings, and goals. Next would be to tackle your schedule and deadlines. Try breaking your goals into smaller steps and mark them down in your day planner or calendar. This will help you establish a time frame to purely focus on each goal and all the steps involved in accomplishing it. Creating a breakdown of each goal will also help you feel more motivated by keeping track of each step and that amazing feeling as you get to strike it off your checklist. Quick fact, most people, about 83% actually, still prefer the tactile experience of writing lists with paper and pen. The visceral pleasure of crossing things off cannot be underestimated, and people often feel more accountable when a list is in their own handwriting. Second most important thing on this mini list, stop procrastinating. Putting things off just creates additional stress that you really do not need or want. It will also kill your motivation and leave you feeling stuck and overwhelmed. So try to accomplish things as soon as you can or while you're feeling motivated and aware of the urgency. Another quick fact, motivation dies within 5 seconds of postponing. Not only should you try to tackle things right away, but these things should be put in their place. This will save you time and energy because you won't constantly be searching for things, and you will be able to easily differentiate between things you need and things that are just plain old in your way, thus keeping your clutter to a minimum. And in the business world, the less clutter, the better. This leading us to create checklists. Seriously, folks, I personally take great pride in this one. Just ask my other half or bestie. I truly live in a world filled with lists, electronic notes, and post-its. But seriously now, keeping track of all your projects, responsibilities, goals, and daily, weekly, monthly activities gives you more time to focus and create a useful daily routine. This also acts as friendly reminders, especially when adopting new projects and goals. One more quick fact here. Psychological benefits of using a checklist include motivation, organization, it creates order, sets priorities and consistency, creates the feeling of productivity and accountability, relieves stress, and creates a system that leads to accomplishment. Another good mental tool that falls under this category is embrace automation. Automate everything you possibly can. For example, if you automate your bill payments, you will no longer have to worry about whether you made them on time or if you have enough money left in your business account to cover them. Use both systems to create more time for the things that truly matter in your business. That being said, let me share some tried, tested, and true time management tips. Leave plenty of time in between tasks. Be prepared for the unexpected. List your priorities every day and by importance to stay focused. Do the important things on your list first. Create an action plan for each project to stay motivated. Reorganize and eliminate time wasters. Minimize interruptions so you can concentrate and accomplish things quicker. Set realistic goals. Doing this gives you more of a chance to accomplish them. And last but not least, synchronize your calendars. Yes, this also includes your day planner. I know I talk a lot about the importance of being organized, but this is truthfully serious business. But it's all about helping you keep things simple, develop routines, have a place for everything, and put everything in its place, purging routinely and not getting bogged down by perfectionism. So instead of feeling like you're always falling off the wagon, here are some of my team's favorite habits when it comes to being highly organized. First and foremost, the to-do list. When people who are highly organized make lists, it isn't necessarily about crossing them off. It is, however, all about writing those ideas down on paper to get them out and clear their mind. For us, it's all about keeping multiple lists. We're talking business-related lists here, but these rules also apply to life. One list for daily tasks, with separation per client and self. One for a grand overview of the month. I do this in a fun and colored style planner. And one for thoughts and creative ideas. Asana is a good place for this. Okay, folks, something really important here next. The 5-minute rule. To be organized, you need to be proactive and abide by what Mel Robbins, world-renowned author and speaker, likes to call the 5-minute rule. When a highly organized person thinks a task will take 5 minutes or less, they tend to complete it right away so that it doesn't get added to the dreaded to-do list or gets pushed off to the point where it never gets done. Organized individuals tend to avoid putting the little things off, so they have more time to focus on the big things. This simple 5-minute rule will make a huge difference in all aspects of your life. The satisfaction strike. Honestly, what is better than the feeling of satisfaction? That huge sigh of relief that comes from crossing something off your to-do list. This is personally one of my most favorite things. Grabbing that big black Sharpie and striking an item off that list. And yes, with great force. Try starting each day by prioritizing what you must get done and bumping the most difficult tasks to the top of your list. Doing this will make you have a clearer sense of what is important and in the long run will help you get more stuff done. And the reason I suggest the bump is because your energy is most likely the highest at the start of the day. The organized chaos. What do I mean by this title? It's simple. Everything needs to have a home. If items in your office are homeless, they end up in stacks, literally stacks everywhere, perhaps even beyond the space of your office. Now, I'm not going to say it's not okay to have stuff, and lots of it, but to be more efficient and enjoy your space, it's best to have everything. Yes, absolutely everything tucked away in a specific spot. For most people, that is too much to ask right off the hop. Maybe start with a basket or a desk bin. Start placing wayward items inside. Not only will your clutter magnets, aka homeless stacks, stay stuff-free, but you will now have a better idea of the type of storage you should invest in. Truth of the matter is, studies show that people who have organized spaces and enjoy them tend to be more attentive and accomplished during their work hours. The routine. How you spend your day is how you spend your life. Which is why it is so especially important to carve out time for some daily routines. Organization requires work and habit. Some may even say practice. Studies show that it takes upwards of 23 days to form a new habit. Highly organized people function with routines. They may have certain times of each day for accomplishing tasks, so find what works for you and make it stick. Okay, next up is important. The reset button. This habit is just as important as all the others I just shared with you. Allow yourself 15 minutes each day to reset, reorganize, purge, and put things back in their place. For me, as an example, this means organizing my notes from the day to prepare for the next, organizing piles of client folders with notes on each one, daily as well as monthly if you can, tossing notes that no longer are needed, and lastly, emptying my recycle bin and decluttering my space. Remember, organized people are not born, they're built. Organization can sometimes be a tough subject for entrepreneurs to be vulnerable about because we all want to be able to take care of everything on our own, even though we may not always have the tools or the time to do so. So increasing organization means that productivity needs to be its sidekick, meaning you will finally be able to put all your energy on what is most important, growing your business. And of course, being able to find that happy place of work-life balance in the process. And as John Maxwell states it best, you will never change your life until you change something you do daily. The secret to success is found in your daily routine. Honestly, I would not be where I am today if it were not for my crazy organizational skills. Just last week, actually, my girlfriend and my honorary untangler here at VU made me laugh so loudly. And yes, I was by myself by saying, I basically assume you've got a little alien in your head who works even when your physical self isn't. That is clearly the only way you get this much done. But she's right in a way. I work hard. I don't preach. I live by these untangling rules, and not just the ones I shared with you already. Let me elaborate on this a little bit more. So press pause, grab a coffee, and let's get started on 3 simple, easy peasy lemon squeezy tips to break things down just a bit further. Number 1, create organization with your lists. I know we already talked about list making a few minutes ago, but it is so important I wanted to share a few more tidbits. Doing this, not only creating the list, but how you lay them out to work with will help you focus and be organized in your approach to getting things done. I feel that doing paper to pen and virtually helps keep me laser focused. I have my wall calendar for my events, meetings, birthdays, holidays, and so on. I use my desk day planner for much of the same, but with extended notes, also including per client contract information, like contract renewals and expiries. I co-combine my business email calendar with my personal phone calendar and tasks app. This way, there's an entire overlap of my business life and my life. And if this doesn't sound crazy organized enough, I add in Asana. This way, I have all my bases covered, ease of access all over my office and home, and they all speak to one another. So there's no excuses for missed deadlines, meetings, birthdays, personal appointments, virtual coffees, and of course, tasks and projects. Number 2, stay organized with a focused inbox. Now, of course, there's only 1,000,001 ways to stay organized. So I'm just going to touch base on one that I know will be beneficial to you, your email. And here's the steps. Review your daily accomplishment list and decipher the priorities. Is there a deadline? Multiple deadlines? Meetings in between? Personal, business needs, and goals. Next, create yourself a today list or folder and add all those things into it. Color code your priorities. I prefer using the obvious: red for urgent, yellow for very important, green for financial. Then code the rest of the colors that make sense to me for my personality type and per client. Review the list again now that it's all sorted. Do you have some items that can maybe wait until tomorrow or later on in the week? If so, go on and create yourself a tomorrow folder. Then rinse and repeat and plunk everything you need in there. Then simply rinse and repeat the step for the rest of the week, month, year, 5 years, or whatever tickles your fancy. This is where I choose to use Asana, as you can get organized based on client or personal business needs and add timelines in an easy and fashionable order with notes. Number 3, create a stress-free environment. If everything has a home, you will not need to spend any extra time looking for whatever it is when you need it. So the key here is to keep things organized and stick to it. And do not be afraid of sorting things too much. There's no such thing. The more categories of things you come up with, whether labels, tabs on folders, buckets and drawers, dividers, notebooks, whatever it may be, the easier it will be to find exactly what you need when you need it. A good example to imagine at its fullest potential is tax time. No more searching through endless piles, boxes, or envelopes of paper. This is why I always stress how much everything needs a home. Oh, and not to mention the health benefits of putting organization into its place. I bet most of you haven't pondered on the long-term effects of this. Well, maybe in the back of your mind, but not in the forefront. It leads you to better eating habits and less hangry moments. Gives you that much needed energy boost, the one you're always craving. Makes you feel happier, go luckier, and less introverted. Improves your sleep habits, which also lowers your heart attack risk by up to 30%. So as you can see, being organized can really save your life. By adapting some of these habits, you will be able to reduce your daily, weekly, and yearly stress levels, therefore save yourself years on your life. Plus, it also keeps you sharp, thus feeling more able to tackle all of life's details with better organization. Being organized isn't about getting rid of everything you own or trying to become a different person. It's about living the way you want to live, but better. It may take a bit of effort, or a lot, depending on how out of sorts things have gotten, but organizing your entrepreneurial life will allow you to use your time and efforts more efficiently. You will become the master of your time and money, not the other way around. And not only that, but the more thought out your schedule and even budget is, the less you will need to worry about it. Productivity, which includes getting organized, is never an accident. It is always the result of a commitment to excellence, intelligent planning, and focused effort. So please, oh please, utilize the information you just gained. Right now is the perfect opportunity to reevaluate your business systems and tools to figure out what works and what doesn't, as well as what areas require more attention than others. Do your homework. Ask others for advice if you're unsure or want a second opinion, maybe even a third. With becoming a bit more untangled and clutter-free, you will finally be able to get clear on what you not only need to get done, but want to accomplish. All the while paving a speed bump-free path for new strategies, newfound time, and business growth. Think of it like gardening, watering your plants, pulling the weeds, and watching it thrive as everything blooms. So share with us, how do you live a life of organization and productivity?
And that's a wrap. Virtually Untangled is a full-service business, which means they've got you covered on design and content right through to digital and organization. You'll form a long-lasting relationship with them, as collaboration is central to everything they do. Now it's time to seize the moment and become inbox friends. It's easy to do. Just hop on over to virtuallyuntangled.com or their Facebook page to opt in and receive instant access to the most inspirational ride of your life. So, what are you waiting for? Become inbox friends with VU. Until the next episode, keep untangling.